Howdy y'all, Percy Wyatt here, back for another one. So today we're going to be going over to Mr. John Hooper's house. And I'll talk to you a little bit more about Mr. Hooper as we get on with our day. And what a fine morning it is. It's about 5:45 a.m. So I just got to go ahead and collect some of these here chicken eggs. And we're going to bring them up to the diner on our way. Because I like to stop for my eggs and bacon, but they running short on the eggs. So I'm going to go ahead and sell them some. Well, that ought to do it. Picked up about 2 dozen. So before we head off on the road, I thought I'd show you this over here. Over the weekend, we threw down some gravel over here, and we had a company come in, and they put down these, what you call, pre-modulated beekeeping houses. So we're going to be making ourselves some honey. And then I had some leftover gravel, so I put that down over here, make a little makeshift patio. Well, it looks a little ghetto, but it serves the purpose. Now this here pickup truck, I don't know if you remember it from when I was jawing about the story of how I got here. Well, this is my daddy's truck, and the bed had rotted out on it, so we went ahead and tore that off and used it for scrap, and I put a flatbed on it, and it's been working out just great. And my farmhand Lee, he's got a pickup truck similar to this one. And boy, I'm waiting for it to break down so I can have it for parts. All right, let's go ahead and get on out of here. And we'll have a little chit-chat about old John Hooper. So we call him Hoop for short. He's a good old boy, born and bred locally. And he's one of the subscribers to my channel, so I really appreciate that. So John's parents used to have a family home up on a hill over by the lake. And I mean, we call it a hill, but it's it's kind of really a mountain. But if you visit the Pacific Northwest, you'll see mountains. Makes this look like a proper hill. But anyhow, they didn't build this house to be pretentious, to look down on anybody. Way back when this house was built was the time when all the people from the east were coming out west to settle. And a lot of them landed in Texas. Well, one of the problems with all that was some of the people, the native people that lived here already, they didn't quite appreciate everybody coming in here and digging up the land and building things where they please. And I mean, heck, they don't even know what they building on. They could be building on sacred ground, burial grounds, all kind of grounds. They didn't care. They just tore it all up. And they was hunting their resources and everything else. So they kind of had a little bit of a chip on their shoulder, and I can't blame them. So the folks that built that house found that mountain. And that mountain was created by a meteorite, believe it or not. A meteorite, thousands of years ago, tumbled to Earth and connected with the ground right where that lake is and left a big old crater. And of course, when you get a crater, that means all the ground around it starts heaving up. So that's how this mountain was formed. And there's even a depression up there on the side of the mountain, and there's a fresh water, like little pool up there. And there's a natural spring that runs underground, and it feeds the lake, but as it's feeding the lake, it bubbles up through some cracks in the rocks, and it feeds this pool. It's really something spectacular to see, and I'm going to show you. But we don't have time for no swimming, so keep your shoes on. But back on the real story. So John's parents had purchased that house after they got married some years ago. Well, his father's still alive and lives with him down where we're going to be going next, but his mama had passed on. So since nobody's in the house, the last couple years, we've been going up there and taking care of the grounds a bit for him. Now, John doesn't mind going up there with the weed whacker and trimming up around the side of the house, but he don't like to spend no extended time up there. And once I get on out of the diner, I'll go ahead and tell you why he don't like going up there so much. So I'm going to go on in, sell the eggs, have my breakfast, and I'll be back with you in a flash. I just can't seem to start my day without some good old strong coffee, eggs, and grits. The breakfast of champions and old fat farmers like me. All right, that's enough lollygagging. Let's go ahead and get on with the business today. So we're going to head on up to Hoop's house, and we're going to pick up the keys to his parents' house there. Well, hold on a second. I think I seen the shortcut. I forgot about this old logging road over here. And we can cut this little trip in half just by going up this old road over here. And heck, we're going through the woods. Maybe we'll find us a Sasquatch. Gotta be careful coming through here, though. You bust a tire quick. Yeah, so anyway, we're gonna go pick up the keys to his parents' house. That way, in case we gotta get something to drink or use the bathroom, we can get inside the house. Like I say before, Hoop won't spend an extended amount of time up there, and even a couple of his friends been run off up there too. So apparently, there's some kind of spirit girl running around up there, and she likes to show herself to people, I guess. Me personally, I have never seen any spirits up there or anywhere. As far as I'm concerned, there ain't no such thing as ghosts, and I ain't seen no proof of nothing otherwise. So as the story, or I'll call it a legend, goes, the reason why the original builders of that house put it up on that mountain was it was kind of like a vantage point or a watchtower. And like I said before, the Native Americans in the area did not appreciate them being there. So this seemed like a good idea to put a house up there, and they can keep an eye on what's going around below and spot some trouble before it gets up on the hill to them. So I'll pick back up on the story in a minute after we get the keys, but I just wanted to show you this over here. So this is the big old barn that we leased from Hoop, his old hay barn, and we keep all our big equipment in there now, and I'll show you around that once I retrieve these here keys. So I don't think Hoop is home. Even from here I can still spy the flag is up on the mailbox, so we'll just go around back and get the spare keys. Yep, you always know when Hoop's not home because he leaves the flag up for the mailman on the mailbox. There's those keys. Yeah, otherwise he's usually out here to hand the mail off to the mailman himself. So over here, this is our hay shed. And I mean, we store more than that in there, as you see from the sign from the builder. So we do potatoes, sugar beets, wood chips, forage and silage, straw, grass, and hay. And you just drive your trailer right up in through here and dump your goods, and a fancy computer actually sorts it all out and puts it in its respective tanks. We're pretty sophisticated around here. So over here, this is the old barn, and we keep all our big bud and big bud equipment in here. We've got a leaky roof. You can see some mud puddles hanging around in here, but it ain't hurting nothing, so no sense in climbing up on the roof now. And then over here against the back walls and the side, you can see this scorching. Well, he had some hay bales that had caught fire a while ago. We think some kids got in here, maybe was smoking some cigarettes or something, wink, and left something smoldering. And here's our grain trailers. Can't wait to get these out on the field. We didn't get them too long ago. And then we had a nice big old space in back here to work on the equipment and turn the 747 around. And we even got our own little gas pump installed so we don't have to haul this big equipment up through the roads to try to, well, it won't fit in the filling station, so we have to have a gas pump here. All right, let's get back on the road, and I'll finish up with that story. So there's one problem with having a house up on a mountain. And that is, you're kind of sitting up there like a duck. You have to kind of get the jump on whatever's coming up before it gets up there. Otherwise, you're sunk. Now, the Native Americans, they probably used that mountain themselves as a lookout whenever they was watching the wagon trains coming through their land. So they knew every nook and cranny, and they can climb up there real fast in a hurry by the hundreds. So one thing that the government did was they had a military unit out this way to kind of help the settlers out and watch over them and protect them. Well, they would hold up at that house up there on the hill. And one faithful early morning, there was a bloody skirmish to beat all skirmishes. as the story goes, this little settler girl got caught in the crossfire and she took an arrow to her chest and she passed away. And she's been walking them grounds ever since. But more about that in a minute. I'm going to show you the equipment we're going to be using today. So we got this Amazon Profi lawnmower. I use it in my own yard, works great. And I also got me an old Eustace tractor that we keep just to bang around the farm with. Still starts up good, so why not? And then we've got this Welger baler. That old grizzly bear, he ordered that from overseas. And then we got the granddaddy of all granddaddies. We got the old Bulldog Mac B model. Got it from Kansas, off an old farm. They sold it to us cheap and we restored it. And we use it every chance we get because we just love it. Fits like a glove. Let you hear the old bark on this bulldog. So anyway, back to the story. So sometimes out of the soil of tragedy can rise up some good. Now, once the Native Americans found out that this sweet little girl had got caught up in the crossfire between all of these guys fighting each other's, they sat down with the settlers and the Union Army and they came to a treaty. And this was good news for the settlers because, see, this land out here is a lot different than it is back east and even over in Europe. We got all kinds of weather here. It's hotter than hot in the summertime, and we got our share of storms and floods to boot. And even in the wintertime, we can get ourselves some ice storms, and we've seen everything else in between. And if that ain't enough for you, this is built on good old-fashioned bedrock. It'll take you 2 cases of dynamite and a whole lot of money to build yourself a storm cellar around here. You gotta blast through all that bedrock. So basically, the settlers agreed that they would share the fruits of their harvests with the Native Americans if they would teach them how to farm the land properly. Well, it didn't work out 100% well all the time, but it worked out pretty good for the most part. There was still some heated exchanges now and then, but things were getting a lot better, that's for sure. Bringing this truck and trailer probably wasn't one of my smartest ideas coming up this mountain. I'm not quite sure how we gonna get back down, because it doesn't look like there's any room to turn around. But I guess we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. But I sure enough don't want to be up here at night, because I will admit, it can get a touch creepy. I guess it's because you're so isolated, you know. Alright, let's go and park this old boy up. Keep him out of the way so I don't back into him with the lawnmower. This here is the $1 million view, I will admit it. Get to have your morning coffee and look out over the lake in the morning. Big old shade trees in the yard. Sure enough, it's beautiful. And this grass looks like it's been needing some attention. I haven't been up here in a couple of weeks, so I'll have to be ashamed of myself. Let's see if I can have you spy that water pool over there. If I can jump over this wall somehow. There we go. Gotta be careful over here. There's some slippery moss. Easy now. Let me see if I can get down. I'll go around. There we are. You can come up here after a day's work, build yourself a sandwich and sit under the tree with a glass of sweet tea. And if you think we're still not up high, have a look around down there. Don't be up here drinking beer or nothing. You slip off these rocks, you're going to have a bumpy ride down to the bottom. And if you do wake up, you'll be sore. Got you another shade tree over here. Some soft grass to sit in. Let me step around this moss so I don't go down that water, because let me tell you what, it is deep. Can't even see the bottom. It's black in there. And it's fresh water, so you have to be a good swimmer because there's not much floating. Beautiful views all the way around. All right, let me figure out how to get down off of here, and I'll be right back. All right, I made it back. Let's see if we can get this stuff off the trailer and not roll it off the side of the mountain. Gonna have to back it all the way up, so I figured I'd do a little zippity-doo-dah fast forward, just so I don't have you sit through all the pain of watching me. Take that off before I break it in half. Should have done that before I backed up. Yep. It's the thought that counts. I think this will do just fine over here. Keep it out of the way. All right. And now for the little guy, the star of the show. Ooh, my neck's a little stiff this morning. Let's go ahead and spin a little mowing music. See you in a bit.
It will break the fear. When your love gets wide, it will bring you near. And when your soul gets humble, pride loses me. And your days of trouble, they will end right here.
Boy, I'll tell you what, I'm just as comfortable up here as a pig in mud, enjoying the great views, the great music, some peaceful mowing. There we go, the last strip. Let's get this little bugger emptied and we'll go ahead and bale it up. Heck, I just might offer Hooper a little bit of money, see if I can't buy this place. It would make a good vacation home to rent out, or even, hey, I might live here myself. Little inconvenient getting to work every morning, though. So as I suspected, had to back down the dang hill because I just didn't have enough room to turn around. So probably wasn't my smartest choice as we discussed bringing this trailer. But at least we had an uneventful morning and a very pleasant experience. And now all we have left to do is deliver our bales and feed our hungry sheep, and we'll put some away under the shed for a rainy day. Ooh, this gate feels heavy after a morning of mowing. Just get through here nice and careful. I've hit this gate more than once, I will tell you. Just don't tell Jerry. All right. Home sweet home. Here we come, sheep. Get ready, get your napkins out. Get your bib on. It's breakfast time. Get this little old farm-all tractor here. Put the rest of the bales in this here small trailer because I like it because it turns into a flatbed. Or you could put the sides down individually. Mind the fence, mind the fence. Well, that was a great start to a beautiful morning. Now if I can just get this trailer under here without taking my head off. Should have made this shed just a little bit taller when we built it. Alright, so I hope y'all enjoyed this episode, and I really appreciate you stopping by and watching and joining in on this chapter in our little Lone Star Ranch saga. And it was pretty uneventful. Didn't see no ghosts and hobgoblins or little girls running around, so all's well that ends well. Did y'all hear something? Oh well, I must have left the radio on or something. I'll have to go check afterwards. So anyway, my friend Eustace Pharmer would like to give you a message before you go. So I'll go ahead and turn the old blowhorn over to him, so listen up, all right? All right, thank you very much, Mr. Wyatt. So I hope you all enjoyed this. I know it's a little eccentric, but it was sure a lot of fun to do. I just want to bring to your attention that May 20th through the 27th, I'm going to be away on vacation. I'm actually going on a cruise to celebrate my 10th wedding anniversary with my lovely wife. So I will not be putting out videos for that week. And I know most of you already know it's really not that strange not to see a video from me in a few days. But I think the considerate and respectful thing to do is to let you know what's going on. So I will be putting out whatever I can up until that point. But I'd rather not have videos posting while I'm away because I like to make sure that I respond to each and every one of you. And I won't be able to do that while I'm away. So I hope you'll understand, and I look forward to seeing you again when I get back. So until we meet again, my friends, please take great care of yourself, okay? And bye-bye for now.